So I'm going to compare two cameras today that are separated by 100 years. This Kodak box camera from the 1880s, it looked sort of like this. So it wasn't exactly the camera from the 1880s, but it was a simple box camera, point and shoot. And this camera from the 1980s. And again, just a simple point and shoot. The difference is this had a better lens quality and it had a built-in flash, whereas this was just without a flash, and the quality of the lens wasn't as good. Now, the other thing was in the 1880s, the film sensitivity wasn't that great, so you had to take photographs in natural bright light. It didn't have a flash attachment. You didn't have lens openings. You didn't have shutter speeds. So a simple point and shoot camera. Groundbreaking at the time because it was so simple to use. Kodak's motto was, you press the button, we do the rest. This camera had 100 exposures in it. It seems like a lot, but when you think about it, digital photography today is very simple. It's very easy to take 100 exposures very quickly. And at this time when photography was a novelty, when you had a camera like this, I'm sure you found many places to take photographs, and those pictures were probably taken quite quickly. And when the camera had taken all its exposures, you'd mail the camera to a processing lab. They would You would pay an extra $10 to get that done. When you bought the camera, it came with the film, $25, and in today's dollars, that would have been equivalent to about $800, and then $10 for the processing of the film, which would to be equivalent to about $300. So this was a camera that only the wealthy could afford, but it was groundbreaking because, as I said, it's just a simple point and shoot. It'd be sent in for processing. They'd reload the camera for you. You'd get the same camera back, load it with another 100 exposures ready to go. The big difference between this camera and this one was you'd send this camera in for processing of negatives and film, but the film and prints, but you would then get a new camera. This would be a disposable camera, and you wouldn't get the same camera back. This camera you would maybe have for many years because it would be the same camera reloaded all the time. But 100 years separating it, same basic idea. This was the groundbreaker for this camera that was produced 100 years later, and it had an interesting history. So it went from only the cameras that wealthy people could afford